My name's Mitchell Payment. My dad introduced me to hunting at a very young age where I quickly fell in love with the raw beauty and emotions that this outdoor lifestyle has to offer. Being able to capture my dad and I's successes and failures through the lens of a camera has now led to this, Moment of Truth TV.
Nice triple, buddy.
Moment of Truth TV is brought to you by The Enforcer, 365 Archery, Score Ammunition, Killing Sticks Arrows, Carson Optical, K&R Taxes located in St. Albert, Alberta, Castle and Meats, OC Archery and Obsession Bows. As you may have seen in a prior episode, we were hunting a deer that we call Lucky. And unfortunately, in our third year of hunting this deer, after many close encounters, we were unable to harvest this giant whitetail buck. And now it's the following year, and I'm heading out to see if Lucky made it through the rest of hunting season and the winter months. Big lightning. Whew! Scared me. Well, we just rolled into our lucky spot. This will be our 4th year hunting Lucky. Time's flied and we've had some great opportunities at them, but this year has to be the year. We've managed to harvest some beautiful animals while hunting them, luckily. But this year, it's either lucky or no lucky. We're holding out. Even if it takes us into November and late season, we're gonna have to do it. And fingers crossed this is the year. We came here last week. There's 5 bucks out in the field, and one looked to be lucky. He had the brow tines curled out like Lucky does every other year, and fingers are crossed he made it through the winter. We're not 100% sure, but we're pretty sure that was him. Well, there's 4 beautiful bucks out in the field now. I've been just trying to get the best pictures and video I can of these deer. Lucky's back. I can't believe it. I'm so relieved that he made it through the winter. Nothing happened to him. It couldn't be any better. As the summer months progressed, we scouted harder than ever, watching multiple nice deer, including my dream buck, turning into a once-in-a-lifetime buck. We wanted to pattern Lucky the best we could, so come fall when that small window of opportunity presents itself, we'd be in the right place at the right time. This segment is brought to you by OC Archery and Obsession Bows. Well, it's September 1st, the day we've been waiting for a long time now. We've been coming almost every day scouting to try to find Lucky. We haven't seen him in a good month. Last time we seen him was July, so we're kind of nervous on what his status is, whether he's here or left or he's gone nocturnal. But we're going to go in there tonight with high hopes and hopefully he makes an appearance. If we get him, I don't even know how he'll react because he's a buck of a lifetime. And we also have a nice bull moose walking around, and he's been going by some of our tree stands. So if all goes well, we'll draw some blood tonight, so stay tuned.
With having a fairly uneventful first night in the tree stand, only seeing a bull moose and a young whitetail with a lot of potential, we are anxious to get back out to see if we can get a glimpse of Lucky.
Well, it's night number 3, September 3rd. Last night we came here and we were going to go in for Lucky, but it was a torrential downpour and it was just been miserable, almost impossible to film. So we went to a barn and we were successful. We wanted to get in close to some deer and we could have shot 2 does, but we passed them. But tonight everything's looking good. The cold front moved in yesterday, the rain stopped, and if it all goes well we might even get to see Lucky, a bull moose, and draw some blood, so stay tuned.
A rainstorm hit, getting the deer up on their feet, including 2 nice bucks that we scouted all summer long, that I elected to pass since it was the 3rd day of the season.
Well, that was an eventful night in the tree stand. We got in there nice and early, and it was action-packed the whole time. The bull moose came by right away, and he was just out of range. He took the wrong trail, and then as soon as the rain hit, there was bucks and does running all over the place. The 2 twins came in. We had them broadside at 30 yards, and I passed them, and then they ended up coming 5 yards right below the tree stand. It was hard to pass, but I know there's a lot bigger deer around that we can get, and it's still early. We have lots of time to get it done, so stay tuned. Well, it's September 5th, day number 5. Yesterday was kind of a gong show. We got there and the farmer started cutting the field and we just had to leave. But it turned out to be okay because the wind switched into a bad direction. But we're going in here tonight, first sit in the double where we had all the encounters with him last year. And I'm really excited. The bull moose has been walking by. I'm praying we get to see him for the first time in a month and it all works out tonight, so stay tuned.
As September went on, we hunted nearly every day, hoping that Lucky would make a mistake and slip up. Night after night we seen plenty of deer, but unfortunately we had no sightings of Lucky. And now it's the beginning of October, and there's a huge cold front coming with cold temperatures and a lot of precipitation, and we believe this is our small window of opportunity to get an arrow in Lucky. As soon as we got up into the tree stand and got all settled in, the deer began to come out of the bush and started to feed. Not too long after, I glanced to my left, and there he was. Lucky was out in the field feeding about 150 yards away. As the night went on and more deer started filing out into the field, I was just hoping and praying Lucky would make his way into our corner and come within bow range. As camera light began to fade, my heart started racing faster than ever as it looked like Lucky might make his way towards us. But unfortunately, he followed the other bucks away from us and we never got a shot.
Well, it's October the 2nd, the fronts moved through. It's been an awesome encounter with Lucky last night. All the deer came out just like we figured they would with the cold front rolling in. And Lucky came out with tons of light, tons of camera light, and he started making his way towards us and didn't fully commit. He followed the other bucks elsewhere, and it just didn't work out. But we're going to go up into the double tree stand because we have a good wind for it. Not the exact tree stand we want to be in right now, but it's a good tree stand just to scout, look around, and you never know what's going to come by. Lucky might come by at 24.6 yards and we could get an arrow in him, so stay tuned.
Before the sun had even went down, the deer started filing out into the field to feed, and once again there was Lucky a couple hundred yards away across the field, grazing and starting to work his way in our direction. Watching this magnificent buck feed with multiple other little bucks just over 100 yards away was truly amazing, and all I can hope for now is they start feeding out into the field and close the distance and come within bow range. Then all of a sudden a coyote popped out of the bush and spooked the deer through the slough bed, heading right towards our other tree stand.
Well, it's October 3rd. We had an awesome encounter with Lucky last night. He came out before the sun even went down, which is almost unheard of when we're talking about this deer. But he came out early and he started making his way towards us, and he was pushing all the little deer around. He's already pushed the nice deer out of here, and he's the total mature buck. And he was coming, we're sitting in the double, so chances are we wouldn't have got a shot, but they're just feeding and grazing, and coyote ended up spooking them, and they ran into the slough bed, and once you know it, a couple minutes later, he comes out with the rest of the bucks, and it was like deja vu. He walked out right below our tree stand, 10 yards on the other side of the field, and I was pretty heartbroken, but the wind wasn't totally good, so that's why we didn't go in there. But tonight, we got a good wind, and if he does the same thing, I'm hoping we can end a 4-year quest for a giant buck, so stay tuned.
Just like the 2 nights before, all the same deer were up on their feet nice and early, working their way to the same food source. But unfortunately, as the night went on, we never got to lay our eyes on the elusive Lucky. This segment is brought to you by Kill and Sticks Arrows. As October went on, we hunted harder than ever, spending a lot of hours up in the tree stand, seeing lots of deer, but unfortunately we weren't able to get back onto Lucky. Then at the beginning of November we tried rattling, and we successfully brought in a nice 4x4 whitetail that we had an encounter with earlier in the season. a once-in-a-lifetime buck on my mind, I decided to pass this beautiful 4x4 whitetail and let him grow another year. Once the rut rolled around, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to get an arrow in Lucky, but only seeing smaller bucks chasing does started to make me wonder if I was going to fold my tag on a whitetail buck this year.
Well, it's November 27th and we're running out of time fast, and I'm just praying tonight we can get a buck with the bow. But we're going into the spot where I got my buck last year. We know there's some awesome deer in here, 3 in particular, and I'm not going to be super picky if something nice comes by. It's getting a killing stick, so stay tuned and hopefully we get one on the ground. You sure? It was a tad far back and quartering too, but he's not a giant, but he's gnarly in it. We only have 3 days left. It's pretty much our last night. I wasn't gonna pass that up. It's already been an awesome season. I'm sure he's gonna go down. He was pumping hard. It looks like maybe back the lungs, liver. We're not. We'll watch the footage, but it looked good. That felt awesome.
Good job, Mitch.
Thanks, Dad.
Proud of you, buddy. There's no time left.
Yeah, and we might that could be our last opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, we just got down out of the tree. We're gonna give the buck probably a good half an hour because the shot looked really good. He was pumping hard. We heard crashing like crazy, so I'm guessing he didn't go that far. And hopefully we got a nice little buck at the end of it, so stay tuned. Well, this is first blood. It's pretty much at point of impact. We rewatched the footage quite a few times and it looks good, but we gave him a good hour. We heard him crash when we were up in the tree stand, we think, so we're just gonna follow the blood. And hopefully he's laying there. I'm pretty confident, but you never know when you're hunting deer. Well, that's really good penetration. That killing stick crushed him. There's a big pile. There he is. Holy smokes. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Well, everyone, here he is. He didn't go far at all. He only made about 150 yards and the blood was plentiful the whole way. And I am so proud of this deer. He's such a beautiful deer. Me and my dad have worked so hard this season, spending more than 80 days out in the field and countless hours in the tree stand. I elected to pass quite a few nice bucks this year, holding out for Lucky, a once-in-a-lifetime deer, and it just didn't work out. And we haven't seen him since beginning of October. He kind of disappeared. So we weren't going to be too picky, and I have trail cam pictures of this buck this summer, and he's a buck we wanted to take out of this area. So when this guy came out, I figured it was him because he just has the nub on the one side, and this not bad side right here. He's cool, nice big brow. But when he came out, I decided I was going to take him, being only 3 days left in the season, and I'm more than happy. Whenever you can take a buck with a bow, to me that is a trophy. Although he's not my biggest, he is definitely one of the most rewarding deer I've ever killed. I just want to thank my dad for coming out and filming me morning and night for the whole season. I just really appreciate it because it's not easy coming out every day. I hope you enjoyed all the footage we racked up over this season, and I hope you guys had an awesome season as well. And thanks for watching.